Hey everyone, and welcome back to the X-Ring. On today's episode, what we're going to do is review the Arken SH4 Gen II. A lot of you guys have requested a review of this optic, and what I want you to do is join along as we do everything from comparing it using a Tacticam with some other optics like a Burris or like a Vortex, and then actually taking it out to distance and seeing how it does and seeing what you're getting for that $400 to $500 price point depending on where you buy it. I had zero experience with any of the Arken Optics products. This is not going to be a box opening or anything like that. Like I said, it's already been out of here. It's already been mounted on some other rifles. They say it's HD glass. It is a first focal plane reticle. The reticle is pretty clean. It would work really well for precision rifle shooting. It does have a zero stop. It is 50 BMG rated, fog proof and waterproof, and it does come with what Arken calls their worldwide lifetime warranty. So in the box, it does come with bikini covers. I'm gonna let you guys take a look at this up close. I do like the turrets on this. They're very well marked. They're very large numbers. It does have an illuminated reticle. The power range is a 6 to 24, and it does come with a sunshade. The bikini covers are very rudimentary. They work, and like I said, it's good to have some type of covers, and at least I don't have to worry about losing these so much. And then the zero stop is very easy to set just by loosening these two screws here, the one on the front, and then running that down. That would set your zero stop. The turrets have a very tactile click to them. They're not mushy at all. There are also a lot of other accessories you can buy for this, such as a level that goes around your scope tube, as well as throw levers and things like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to review this. We'll see what we think, and we'll go from there. Might be a good option for a budget optic. Stay tuned. Using the Tacticam on the Arken optics here, I have it on 6 power, and you guys can see the KYL target there on 6 power. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start zooming this in, and I'm going to stop at around 10, okay? So at 10, the image is crystal clear, but you're going to notice a little bit of that chromatic aberration. And what that is when all the colors can't converge on a single point. So what you're starting to notice on that very first KYL is it almost looks rainbowed around the white. And that's common with lowering glass. Here's 12. Everything's still clear. You're starting to get some milkiness in here. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's not bad at all. I'm not seeing any type of distortion or what they call barrel or pinpoint distortion, but you notice how now we're starting to see the targets appear a pinkish color. That is that chromatic aberration that I'm telling you about. So that's on 24 power. The image is crystal clear as far as the reticle. You guys can see the reticle hash marks. And I'm going to play around with the focus now, or the parallax, so that you guys can see right in there is about as good as we can get it. It's not bad at all. Now, one other thing I want to show you guys is I'm going to go to this dark spot right here, and I'm going to turn on the illuminated reticle. All right, so here we go. The illuminated reticle. This is on full 10 power right there, and that's all it is. What I notice is that the reticle being illuminated is just that center crosshair portion, and it's actually not the best illumination. Definitely not daytime illumination, but just things to notice. Alright, so we switched it to the Burris XTR3. We're looking at the same KYL target, and what I'm going to do is start zooming in. Okay, what I want you to notice is how the color still remains the same on those plates. Right now we are at 20 power. Okay, 20 power, and you can still see that we have that resolution. Now, if we go up to a Night Force or a Razer HD, you'll see a difference there. Right now, we're just starting to get a little bit of that color shift on that white plate, and we are at 25 power at this point. So let me get it focused in a little better so you guys can see we still have a clear white image, just a slight tinge of pink starting to come in, but that's the difference. So for comparison, you can see the two. Alright guys, so this is a Vortex Razer HD 4.5 to 27. We've got it just to the left of the KYL, and then what we're going to do, now the minimum power right now because of the throw lever is around 10, so take that into consideration guys. What I'm going to start doing is zooming in. We're at 20, we still have everything looks nice, crystal clear. Don't mind that milky spot there, that's actually something in front of the camera. So we are at 27 power. And as I get the parallax set, you can see the glass is even just a tinge better. I know it's vibrating just a little bit, but you can see how clear and white that all looks. Now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move this over to the dark spot, and we are going to go right in. The shadow's moving right now, or the light's moving. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on the illumination. Look at that, guys. Look at the difference. So that is on 11 power. Now we're in full sun and I can still see it, and it's still illuminating the entire reticle. That's the difference in some of these scopes, but then again, the Arkhan is a quarter of the cost of the Razer HD. All right, what I want you to pay attention to on this photo is this is the Vortex Razer HD. On the left, look on the right, that's the Burris XTR3. If you look around the periphery of the target, not that much difference. Now we've got the Vortex. Here is the Arkhan on the right. You'll notice the pinkish tint, and at 6 o'clock on those, you've lost a lot of resolution. Big shout out to Big Country for loaning this for the review. All right, guys, so we're taking this Night Force 4.5 to 16 attacker off of here, and what we're going to do is place this on here. It's the same rings. It would be the 34mm rings. We'll get everything leveled up here in just a minute, but I am going to go ahead and put the caps on, and we'll get it zeroed at 50 yards. Stay tuned. All right, guys, so I just mounted the scope on there. I used 18 inch-pounds. I do have the Night Force heavy-duty rings on here. It does have a 30-minute of angle Area 419 riser on here, and I will tell you, right off the bat, it's cloudy, okay? It's very cloudy. You know, there's a saying that I say a lot, it's you don't know what you don't know. Now, I know in all fairness, I'm comparing it to other scopes that are much higher, so I really need to have other scopes in this price range to really compare it, but even on 16 power, it's very milky. I do like the knobs. I do like the zero stop. So basically, if I wanted to set the zero stop on this, guys, all I have to do is take an Allen, loosen this. So what I did was I shot a couple shots to get it pretty close to zero, and I screw this down. Once I screw this down to where, to where it just touches, then I can lock the set screw down. What this does essentially is set the zero stop. So right now I've got it set on 0. When I come back around, it stops at 0, so I know I won't lose my place in the rotation. Like I said, I love the markings. Markings are great, but the glass definitely looks cheap. There's no other way to say it. So let me go ahead and try to print a group with this. We'll do like a 5-shot group. What I'll do is I'll spin it up and go a little higher and then come back down. We're not going to do a tall target test, but let's see what happens. So let me get everything leveled here. And I'm going to go to 6 power. I'm going to just tell you what I'm seeing. At 6 power, this thing looks great. It's on par with other glass that I shoot. You really can't tell. As I zoom in, I am still good. I'll tell you exactly where the haziness comes in. It comes in at around 12 power. At 12 power, it's very hazy. It's starting to get hazy. At 18 power, not bad, but very, very hazy. And then at 24, and guys, we're full sun today, so I can't blame it on that. I'm going to try to get you guys a picture of this where it's focused in. But at 24, other than being able to see it, it's not crisp lines. Yeah, it might be HD glass, but guys, that's where I'm seeing the difference. So let me get you guys on target and see if you can see what I'm seeing. All right, guys, so at 12 power, that's the view you get. Not bad, and everything below that, below the 12 power, is crystal clear, so no complaints there. All right, guys, so there's the view at 24 power. I know it's hard to tell. I've got it focused in the middle. I really need the Tacticam, but guys, that's as focused as it gets. So I have everything completely level. We're shooting Lapua Center X. I have it on 13 power right now. I'm going to go for target number 2. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put 2, or attempt to put 2 in the black box. It's a bullseye target or a bench rest target. So I'm going to put 2 in the black box, and then what I'll do is I will dial in 10 mils, come back 10 mils, and see if it does it. Hold on. Okay, I would still need to zero it some. That was a little low, right? Same spot. And that's in the bench rest target. What we're gonna do is I'm gonna go up to 8, 9, 10 mils. Let's go 11, 12, 13. We're gonna go 13 mils. I'm just gonna shoot it into the dirt here. We're gonna go back to our 0 stop and see if we can get back into the square itself. Target 2, there's 1 impact in it at the moment. You know what, before I do that, let's go 3 mils left, 3 mils right, back to 0. It is returned back to 0, no issues. Okay, now I know it's not a true tracking test or anything, but it does show that I can go up to 10, move the windage, you know, +3, down 3, and still come back to 0. My only complaint about it is the glass quality. It is not a bad optic for the money. I don't know where you're going to get an optic for sub $500 or $500 that has all of these features with the illuminated reticle. The reticle is nice and clean. I do like the reticle, so if you have an inexpensive build or you're trying to make production, let's say you have something like a CZ, a 457, you could add something like this and probably still make production division on certain rifles. Let's take it to some distance and see what happens. All right, so guys, let's forget about the quality of the glass. Let's see how the tracking does for real. I do know we were at about 1.7 with the other rifles, so I'm gonna go up to about 1.8 here because we do have a suppressor on here and a little shorter barrel. So we're gonna go 100 yards and 100 yards on little, we've got 4-inch steels out there. So let's see if we can make some impacts. I'm gonna hold 2/10 right, and here we go. Impact, impact, and that's 100 yards. So it still tracks great, no issues with that. We're gonna pick it back up at 200 here in just a minute, because what we're trying to show you is that even with a scope that's gonna be sub $600, you can still compete against these guys as long as the tracking's there. I can deal with a little bit of cloudy glass, but I just want you to know what to expect when you do order one of these. It's not gonna be the same as looking through a Night Force or a Razer HD or a Burris XTR3 or anything like that. If I wanted to compare it directly to an XTR2, I'm still gonna give the glass edge to the XTR2 over the glass in this. All right, guys, so what we've done is we've moved to 200 yards. We had no problems with the Voodoos hitting it anywhere between 6.7, 6.8, 6.9 on the mils. I know we're running a little slower with the 16.5-inch barrel, so I've put in 7 mils. So guys, think about it. This is gonna be equivalent to a centerfire shot. Having to dial 7 mils, you're gonna be plus 800 yards. This is why it's good to show this on a 22. I do have the T1000 magneto speed, so when I go and shoot this shot, we're gonna have Matt kind of zoom in. When you see the flash, you'll know that I hit it. We're using 3rd IDPAs here, just with a water line to see. So I've got 7 mils dialed in. Everything's level. Loading the bipod, 1/2 mil right because of wind. And there it is. You guys can see the magneto speed flashing. So at this point, other than me having to deal with a little bit of milky glass, it's doing everything it needs to do for about 1/6 of the cost of that Night Force. So you can still shoot and be very competitive. Let's go ahead and move it on out to 300 yards and see what kind of results we get. All right, guys, so we're at 300 yards. I've already zeroed the turret back out. What we're gonna call for is somewhere around 13 mils. I'm running 13 mils on the Voodoo. So let's just go up to, now this has 8 on the Revolution. It's not a 0-10 basically. So I've got 8, which is back to 0, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 will put us on the 5 mark, and then a 10th. So I've got 13.1 mils at 300 yards. Let's see if we can do it. Let's see if the tracking's good on it. We'll have Matt just look down range. And here we go. 300 yards and sending. Okay, so just off the right edge with the wind. That's an impact. Here we go again. Elevation's perfect. That's an impact. One more. Elevation's good. So guys, no tracking issues whatsoever. And yes, you can do it. So if you can live with the quality of glass, as long as the internals are good, you're gonna be good with an optic like this. This is shooting right up with our Voodoos right now. We have no issue with it. Like I said, the wind call is a little tough because we have 5-mile-an-hour winds today. And so it's pushing the bullet anywhere from 1.2 mils over to the other side at about 0.5 mil. So yeah, right now, no issues whatsoever with the elevation on this, and I'm able to hit the targets at 300. All right, guys, so we're at 372 yards. It's the furthest we can get today because there's too much mud in front and I'll end up getting stuck. We're still shooting the LiPo with Center X. The value for all of our Voodoos and everything is somewhere around 18 mils at 372 yards. So remember, these are 8 mil revolutions. So that is 8. We're gonna go back to 0. That'll be 16, 17, 18. Our wind is all over the place today. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and take a couple shots at 372 yards. We do have that magneto speed still on there. Let's see what we get. Here we go. Matt, you on the target?
Rick is.
No, man, I want to be able to camera to be able to see the magneto speed as well. All right, here we go. That's an impact. You guys see the magneto speed. Let's follow it up. That's another impact. Let's see if we can follow it up 3 in a row. Impact, so a three-peat. So guys, you can absolutely be competitive with this. It has held on par with all these other scopes, and we're shooting a 16.5-inch barrel. Once again, we're gonna get into that topic of, well, I need an 18-inch barrel, I need a 20-inch barrel, and it's suppressed. So, you know, that's the thing. You know, I had the one video about taking away from your accuracy with the suppressor. Doesn't matter, it's a small bit, but remember, you're not gonna win these matches at distance, I don't think. Where you're gonna really win your matches on these precision rimfire matches is gonna be the positional stuff, 200 and in. So as long as you have a rifle that's holding, you know, a minute and a half with the ammunition that you have, you should be plenty fine. This is actually a very inexpensive build. It wouldn't qualify for production because I did replace the trigger and I did replace the chassis. But as far as the optic, $500 optic, about a $500 rifle if you went with the wood stock, you're looking at less than $1,000. So I'm gonna go ahead and give the Arkhan optics a good rating. The glass is not the best, but you can still do what you need to do with it. You don't need to see it ultra clear as long as you can make it out. So what if it's a little bit milky? So big shout out again to Big Country for loaning this to me. I do want to get it on a centerfire rifle. I'll try to get it back to you as soon as possible. Guys, I hope you enjoyed that. Like, share, and subscribe. We'll talk to you soon. Have a great week.